This time on Scott's Garage, we get to the bottom of a weird problem we're having with the Yaris, where it made a really ugly noise, and then we found a random mystery part. Could they be related? Let's find out. Hello and welcome to Scott's Garage. Today we're going to start with a story time. So this is about the Toyota Yaris, and we were in Arizona, Lily and I. We spent a couple of weeks at my dad's house, and you saw some of those nice videos. And we were getting ready to leave. It was early in the morning, about, 7 o'clock in the morning, probably below freezing in the teens or 20s. And we packed up the Yaris, we got inside, we started going, and immediately it started making this terrible, awful noise. It was a grinding, it was a rattling, it was a weird noise. And Lily was driving, and it seemed to be related to like the RPM or the clutch or something. It seemed like when we changed RPMs or gears, it would be rattling and grinding and making weird noises. And we were trying to figure out what it was. After a few minutes, it just stopped. And that was it. Had no idea what it was. Drove all the way home from Arizona, 400 miles, something like that. And then talked to neighbor John. He was a bit stumped about it, just as we were. He brought over his engine analyzer. We checked for any codes. We thought, well, its original clutch in the car has 220,000 miles. So probably needs a clutch, maybe the throwout bearing. We thought maybe the throwout bearing is like, I don't know, frozen solid, or the bearing was coming apart, something like that was happening. We had all these different theories that we were working on. And in the end, I kept driving the car, to the gym and the store and stuff like that, just like normal. Car worked perfectly fine. And in the end, we kind of just chalked it up to one of those things. I don't know. We didn't know what it was. One of those things. So yesterday, I go to change the oil, just normal course of business. It's reached the mileage limit where I need to change the oil in the Yaris. So I open the hood, I look down in there, and I see this. Look at this picture down in there. And I go, what in the world is that? At first I kind of like just ignored it. I thought, oh, maybe it was like, that's the plastic cover that goes underneath the engine, underneath the front of the car to cover the engine, and there was something that had fallen on the inside of that plastic cover. And so I reached down in there, I picked it up, and it's a big disc looking thing. And I was like, it's kind of a heavy metal, had threads on it. I was like, what in the world is this? And I had no idea. So I kind of tried to get a hold of John, but I know that he was on vacation and just coming back. So I didn't really have him as a resource to ask what it was. So as always, what we do is we ask Google. So took a couple of pictures. We did a Google image search, and the internet went round and round with all kinds of AI. It was looking at, artificial intelligence was trying to figure out this picture and what this item was. And it came up with 3 scenarios of what it could be. Okay, so the first scenario it said is it could be the top of an oil filter, like a spin-on oil filter, one of those like quart size ones. And it did look like that, but this is the oil filter on the Yaris, about that big, and this disc was about, I have the picture of the ruler with it. I think it's like 4 or 5 inches in diameter. So it definitely wasn't the top off of the oil filter. And plus I looked at the oil filter on the car and it was there and everything looked normal. So I kind of disregarded that. The second one was somebody on Reddit said, well, have you been in the snow? Because that looks like a snowmobile wheel, like in the back track on a snowmobile, and it has all those wheels kind of that follow around like a tank. And that looked like one of those wheels that was on there. And I said, well, we were in the snow. I guess that's possible that we were driving around and one of those had fallen off a snowmobile, kicked up, and just landed right there. Maybe. Then the third one was it is a part of the clutch mechanism for the AC compressor on a 2007 Toyota Yaris. And I went, I have a 2007 Toyota Yaris, and it does have air conditioning. So I went and I looked at the air conditioning compressor on there. Look at this picture here. And I saw a threaded section coming out of there that looked like it would perfectly interact with that piece. And that was the air conditioning compressors here. The part was laying right here. I think it was loose and flying around and grinding and stuff. And then finally it just flew off and landed right there. And that was it. So we were able to get to the bottom of that to find out what exactly this part was. And then I'm going to switch here to us actually putting it back on to the air conditioning compressor and what we did. And we'll show you that right now. I guess the theory of Loctite more is better. I think we're working on that theory right now. All right, so we put that on with some Loctite. I made that tool that you can buy a tool from Toyota to tighten that fits in those holes and kind of goes like this. I sort of made my own tool. It kind of broke, and I ended up just putting vice grips, big set of vice grips on there, and just holding the center piece and tightening it on there. And some Loctite. I took it for a test drive. Everything seems fine. What was funny is that that part goes onto the air conditioning compressor, so you would think it would function in some way, but I'd been driving that car for about a week. The air conditioning, defroster, all these things, everything seemed to work perfectly normal. All right, so that was kind of a fun whodunit, sleuthing it out, where that part went and what it does. It looked like a few other people with the Yarises had that part just kind of fall off, and so that looks like it's kind of a common thing. So we were able to put it back on. Hopefully it stays on. I don't know, we could swedge it. I could drill and put a screw in there or something like that. I could find some way to keep it on there if it falls off in the future. But I'm hoping the Loctite and tightening it on there does a good job. Anyway, that was a pretty fun troubleshooting. What was wrong with the car? I don't think we got it fixed. I think we found a good solution to the mystery. And hope you had a good time watching this, and we'll see you next time on Scott's Garage. Thanks for watching. Bye.